Hello everyone. I'm trying to do a little video for you on this little laptop, this Dell Latitude 2120, to try to show you how a few things work, especially if you've never done anything like a dual boot system before. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the go button, or the start button, and we'll get this thing fired up here. Okay, so when it comes up, you just kind of sit here and you wait for it to get to that screen. Okay, so then you cursor up and down. You got several options here, typically the bottom one for Windows 7 or the top one for Linux Mint. So right now we're going to go into Linux Mint, and I'll press the enter key, and it'll boot up here. This is a full 64-bit version of Linux Mint 17.3. It's very powerful. It's all open source, which means that it's fully loaded with about every kind of software that you could ever ask for. Full Office suite, all kinds of image burning, CD burning. There's a program on there kind of like Paint Shop Pro. There's a couple of internet browsers, and there's a whole world out there full of just open source and free software. Okay, when this first comes up, you get the login screen. Now the login for this little laptop is Dell. That's the name of the person for the login, or the username. Now the password is just 4 zeros. Put in 4 zeros and then press the enter key. Okay, now that background image, it kind of scrolls through some pretty fantastic pictures, but it's kind of one of those things that I think we don't really need. Just another drain on resources. But anyway, here we are, and we're logging on. I want to kind of get the first part of this Linux Mint boot up and log on, because that's something that I can't do from inside the program. So it takes a little bit, and there we go. Now this first screen that pops up here is invaluable as the welcome screen, and it's got all kinds of helps, tips and tricks, and kind of like a tutorial on how to get going if you've never used Linux before. It just so happens that this particular version, or this distro they call it, of Linux is very similar to Windows. So if you're a Windows user, you should be able to grab onto it pretty quickly. Okay, so for now I'm going to go ahead and close this, because I wanted to show you something in particular for especially people that might be using screencast or screen capture. Now I have a document in here. I'll show you where it's at just real quick. I go over here to the home folder, and then I double click on that, and then I go down to documents, just like you would on Windows or something like that, and double click on that. Now inside the documents folder, there's a document called Screen Capture Setup. Okay, we're going to open that. If I hit that right, there we go. And it opens in the document portion of LibreOffice, which is a full suite of really powerful software, similar to, or even maybe even better than Windows Microsoft Office. Okay, so here's the program, and we're going to be using this later on, primarily for some of the commands that we're going to be using in setting up MPlayer, which is down at the bottom right there. We're going to put some of those into a terminal. Don't freak out on me, because this is pretty easy once you get a handle on it. So we're going to go ahead and close that file folder. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to show you a little bit on this bottom bar. Now, to look over here on the right hand side, follow my cursor. If you click on this little profile guy, Dell pops up, which is the username for this computer, and I click on it, and this is how you power off, switch users, etc. So if I was going to power off, I'd go up here and I'd click on power off, and then you get your options up here. So I would typically click on shut down, restart, or something like that. Hibernate and suspend doesn't work too well on Linux. It still keeps all your resources running, so I typically don't use it. If I wanted to put the computer to sleep, basically all I do is turn off the monitor, you might say, or the display by just holding down the function key and then hit the arrows down until the display goes away. I'll show you how that works. So you keep doing that, and then it goes all the way down, and it doesn't go all the way off. Well, here I am kind of telling stories, I guess, but it does in some applications or some computers or some laptops. But anyway, so I guess in this one we're going to have to just turn it off or something. So I wanted to show you that, and then also over here on the left hand side you've got your menu tab, screen capture setup. That is our document that we just opened. Okay, and then when you go to the menu tab and you open that, it pops up here, and it's got everything you could ever ask for. So basically what you do is you kind of scroll through here. You have accessories. You know, it's got calculator, disks, files, fonts, help, screen reader, graphics. You know, you've got your image editor, kind of like a photo album kind of organizer, and a scanner. On the internet, you've got Firefox, Google, HexChat, Pigeon, Internet Messenger, Thunderbird Mail, and transmission. There's your Office. You've got LibreOffice, and you've got databases. You've got kind of like an Excel kind of a thing for spreadsheets. You've got a draw program for creating images, or do a screen capture, put it on there, and then append to it by highlighting or circling or adding text or something like that. And LibreOffice Impress is for like doing presentations, kind of like a PowerPoint or something like that. Math for doing functions, mathematical functions, and LibreOffice Writer, which is basically the document program. Sounds and video. There's our screen recorder right there. We're going to be using that one. You got your administration, your login, and things like that to change that. Some backup tools. Your preferences, accessibility, desktops, and things like that. And your recent files that you've been opening. Now, another one that's really important is up here, and this right here is basically used for installing software, new applications. And the one below it is like for system settings to change like your mouse, the way it works, the mouse pad or something like that. And I've got this laptop set up for a 2-finger scroll. So you put 2 fingers on it and you pull them up and down and your screen will scroll. Okay, and then down at the bottom it's got shut down, but there's the terminal window. We're going to be using it shortly. There's your file folders. This will lock the screen, and you have to put in your password to open it again. This is your log out button, and this is your shut down, quit, or power off. Okay, so just real quick, I wanted to show you. Let's go over here and open the menu, and then I'm going to type in just SIMPLE. Well, there's Simple Screen Recorder right there. Okay, so you see it? I'm going to go up here and double click on that, and it's going to open up. Now the reason I'm showing you this is because we have a quirk, if you will, here. And as you can see, you can't see the bottom. There's a little tab on the Simple Screen window that just popped up there, and there's some tabs at the bottom. You can barely see it, that help you to be able to continue. So the display on this little, I guess you'd call it a netbook, is not big enough to show this full window of this program. Okay, so there's a little trick that we use. Okay, once you get a handle on it, it actually works pretty good. But you hold down the Alt button and you hit the space bar, and this window pops up. Okay, then you press the M and your cursor turns into a hand, and then you just use your arrow keys and you go up one time, just once, because if you go too far you won't be able to see the rest of it. And then basically what I do from there is I just tap the mouse pad to make the hand go away. Now we can see down at the bottom that this is a continuation of our program. So I hit continue here, and once I hit continue, it opens up on kind of some of the setups and the settings. Now I've already gone through and done most of the hard work so that we can get in here and get this going. So it should be just a breeze to be able to get in here and set up another image. So basically what you do is you just go through here and continue. And right here it's going to overwrite a specific file that I got set up inside the videos, and it's called main.mp4. So basically the program always saves it at main.mp4, and then once you get the video made to where you like it, you go in, you change the name, and the next time you make a video, you change the name, you copy it and into another place, and well, actually you save it to a folder is the best thing to do. You copy it, save it to a folder, and rename it to whatever title you want, and then you always leave this main.mp4 available for the program because it'll override it, and you always know where your video is going to be. Okay, so we're going to allow this. Yes, we want to override it. So I click on yes. Okay, now here is kind of like the final phase, you might call it, before we start recording. Now I clicked on the start preview, and as you can see in the little window there, this is the display of what we're going to be seeing. There's a microphone balance here of what we're going to be hearing, and down at the bottom you cancel record or you save your recording. Now up at the top here there's a button that says start recording. You can do it that way, or you can also, because of the enable the recording hotkey, which is a control, and you can change this R, so control R will turn on the recording. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the bottom, I'm going to find it right here, and I'm going to right click it, and I'm going to minimize it. Okay, so we minimized it. Okay, now I'm going to hit Control R, and that should have got us going again. So let's go down here and we're going to just check it. Yep, you can see up the top it says pause recording. Okay, so basically we're recording right now. So while we're doing this, I want to continue on with what I want to try to show you, so I'm going to minimize this again. Okay, and once I got it minimized, then we're going to open a terminal window. I'm going to go up here and double click on that and open the terminal window. Now I have to go down here and copy some information from our screen capture folder. Okay, so let's do the large window first, and don't be shocked because this is going to pop up a screen right in the middle of what we're doing here, and it's going to put it right in the middle of our display. So I'm going to minimize this again, and right up here I'm going to do a right click and paste. Now I'm going to press the enter key, and there you go. Yep, I'm not the prettiest person in the world. So basically I just wanted to show that to you real quick. I'm going to escape out of here. There's a couple of ways you can do it. You can do a Control C or just escape, and that will go away. Alright, so that was a pretty big display. Now if we wanted to put it down in the lower right hand corner, we go back over here to our screen capture little cheat sheet, and say for example I wanted to put it, I'm going to copy this part right here, copy it, okay, and we'll minimize this again, and then on our terminal we're going to paste it. I'm going to press the enter key. Now we got it down there in the lower right hand corner. So this is kind of how you set up a, what you might call a camera or a picture in a picture, where you can actually record yourself if you wanted to. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get that out of there, and we're going to continue on. I'm going to close this because we're done with it. Okay, now what I want to do is show you how we can actually get the video back. So before I jump up there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit the Control R. Okay, so that should have stopped our recording, and you can see that it did. So up at the top up there it says start recording. Now what we do is we go down here to save recording, and we click on that, and our recording is now saved. Now to view the recording, first what I want to do is minimize this. Just click on it and it minimizes it as well. Okay, so I double click on the home and I go down here to videos, and main MP4, and I double click on that, and there we go.
And that should have got us going again. So let's go
full
down
screen.
here. We're going to just check it. Yep, you can see up the top it says pause recording. Okay, so basically we're recording right now. So while we're doing this, I want to continue on with what I want to try to show you. So I'm going to minimize this again.
So there it is. We played it, we saved it, we played it, and what I would typically do is take and make another folder. Okay, we're going to create a new folder here and call it whatever you would like. I'm going to say saved videos. Okay, and we're in there. Now I want to go back up here to videos. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a right click on this, and I'm going to copy it and go into our saved videos folder, and I'm going to paste it, and now I can rename it to whatever I would like. Just like that, and press the enter key. Okay, so now the next time that we start up our little program of simple screen recorder, it's going to go ahead and overwrite the main.mp4 video right here. And this is going to be super valuable when you kind of do presentations, lessons, or something like that, where you want to capture the screen to show people how to do something. Kind of like I have, you know, with this little demonstration. I'm actually using my phone camera to be able to save this for you, but that's kind of how it works. I'll probably do some more of this later on, but I had to get this one done so that I can put it on here because I'm getting ready to back up this program. So right now we're going to go ahead and exit out of here. While I'm on here, we're looking at the lower right hand corner, and there's your log out, and this is your internet connection. I got a wired network connection right now. I got a network cable plugged into my router. This is your sound level, volume's 100%, and it just so happens on this little laptop at the top left hand side there's 3 blue lights. There's volume up, down, and mute, so you can change that level. The battery is fully charged, it's working well. and this is a new version of the update manager is available. This is how you kind of do updates, sort of like what Windows does. It gives you an option on this to whether you can do it if you want to or you don't have to, and it also shows you how important it might be, and it might be something that you don't even use, so you don't have to waste time with it. Okay, and then I'm not really sure what that is. Okay, this is the camera. I guess it's the webcam. I don't know. It might be, oh, I see, it's part of the simple screen recorder. So you can start recording over there on that as well. I forgot about that. Okay, so, and then you've got your time and date, and you've got where you can actually go up and minimize all your windows. It's showing them all right there now. Okay, so we kind of covered this pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and log out. Remember, when you log into this, it's Dell is the username and the password is 0000. All passwords. Even if you're doing something inside there like installing a program, it'll ask you for a password. Or if you input some script in a terminal with a sudo, which is an administrator type of a command, it might ask you for a password. You put in 0000. Now you won't see this being typed in the terminal, but it'll be there, and it'll give you the ability to continue as an administrator. But it's just one of those ways that it kind of saves from giving away your password to somebody who might be looking over your shoulder. Okay, so I tip on the little guy down there, I click on power off, and I click on shut down. And Linux Mint 17.3 64-bit will shut down. And that was a little introduction, and I hope it wasn't too long. I hope it was useful, and I hope that you were able to grasp something about Linux. Very powerful, very safe. Typically I would use this distro or this operating system anytime that I went on the internet, because Windows is just so susceptible to viruses and any kind of malware and things like that. But people typically don't, or the majority of the malware that's out there, it does not approach or even attack or deal with Linux. So there you go. I'm going to go ahead and close this, and we'll continue on and something else. Bye now.